Are live on YouTube, and I guess we'll get started. Welcome, everybody, and welcome, Sunny. So why don't you start the concert off with a welcome to everybody, and then we'll get started.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Middleburgh Library Not So Quiet concert series. Tonight featuring the wonderful dynamic group Betty and the Baby Boomers. Now, I've known Betty and Steve Stan for over 30 years because we met through the Hudson River Sloop Singers when we were all working so diligently for Clearwater, which most of us are still doing now. And I think you will enjoy this group, the Betty and the Baby Boomers. They've taken on Paul Rubio and Gene McAvoy as their other two performers, and they just make wonderful harmonies. And then, of course, they have their friend Robert on bass doing wonderful rhythm for them in the background. And I know you're going to enjoy this. Now, since this concert is actually funded by a grant that I get from the New York State Council on the Arts, I'm going to have to read the, the blurb. So please, a little patience. This is very important. This is where we are able to pay our wonderful performers. And this project is made possible with funds from the Decentralization Program, a re-grant program of the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of Governor Andrew M. Cuomo and the New York State Legislature, and administered in Schoharie County by Greene County Council on the Arts, doing business as Create. And so they help fund these concerts. And I'm going to put in a pitch now. I'm going to beg you to please, 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 please make a donation, which will help the performers get even more money. And at this time, all our performers desperately need it because, let's face it, a lot of them have lost a lot of work this year. So be kind, be happy that you're watching some great music and listening to it too, of course. And we're going to let the show begin. And please enjoy and don't forget to donate.
Thank you, Sunny. The donation is easy to do. On our YouTube channel where this is streaming, there are a couple of very small links. One says PayPal, and right next to it there's a little globe that you can click on for Square. So you have two options there. You can also go to our website, Betty and the Baby Boomers. I'm going to change the setting here and show you our website. Here's our website. It's bettyandthebabyboomers.com. That's our homepage. And if you'd like to contribute, if you enjoy the music and you'd like to support things as Sunny has mentioned, you can also click on one of these two links on our website and donate. Give what you can, please. Okay, so we're going to get started. Gene, I'm going to let Gene introduce the first segment of our concert, and then we'll get going. So, Gene, just let me put you on spotlight so everyone can see you. Now they can.
Hello, everybody.
All right, take it away.
Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Sunny, for having us. And by the way, any donations that you make will also benefit the library, as well as benefiting Betty and the Baby Boomers. I hope this finds you all well. And although the Boomers miss being together with each other as we are used to, and we miss seeing you live in a concert, we're taking advantage of this pandemic format of entertaining to take you places during the next hour. Now, it will be no surprise to anyone who knows us that we're going to spend a lot of time down by the river in the next hour, starting with my song, Down by the River. But we're also going to take you to some other surprise destinations. So we hope you enjoy yourselves. We hope you continue to stay healthy, and we hope this helps you to stay happy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Gene. Okay. Good. So before we go on to our first set of music, let's all introduce ourselves. I'm Paul Rubio. I play the guitar and sing and often play the drums, that Balron drum that's behind me there, the Irish drum. I'm the percussionist in the band. So let's hear from Betty.
I'm Betty Boomer, and I sing and am a closet mandolin player, and just love singing with these people for, I think, 34 years. It's pretty amazing.
Jean, we've already met, but Jean, go ahead and introduce yourself again.
Jean Valla McAvoy, and likewise, I consider it a gift to have found these folks to sing with for 34 years. And I just sing and write some of the songs.
How about you, Steve?
Hi, I'm Steve Stan. I play guitar and dobro and sing. You'll find that actually we all sing at some point or another. And yeah, it's been a great run over three decades of making music together.
And finally, Robert.
Hi, everyone. Robert Bard. Really happy to be here with you all. That's my bass in the corner. I joined the band. How long has it been?
2009. Yeah, 11 years.
And I've loved playing with the Boomers. We've gone all over the place and played. We've been to Ireland and had some wonderful experiences. And it's just been a joy. So happy to just be here and let the music speak for itself.
Okay, I'll just say one more thing before we get started. We've taken our music and we've grouped it into sets of about 3 or 4 tunes at a time. So we'll let those run through, and then we'll come back to introduce the next group of songs. These are a variety of recordings. Some of them we did recently, live music that we did recently post-COVID. Some of them are from our archives. Some of them have included some multimedia pieces and some introductions that we've recently recorded. So we hope you enjoy what we put together, and let's get started on the first set.
I'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, by the Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. You may be feeling cramped and crowded, you may be feeling restless and bored. I know please can cure what heals you, leave you refreshed, leave your mind restored. Meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, down by the Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. You never know what you might find there. You never know what the tide will bring. But I know you'll find peace of mind there. Something about it makes me want to sing. We'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, down by the mighty Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. Just make your way down to the water. That river will bring the world to your feet. Might be something washed down from the mountains, or fresh right up from the ocean deep. We'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, down by the mighty Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. Once we got careless about our river, let it fill up with pollution and trash. Now we're trying hard to protect, trying hard to make sure that our river will last. We'll meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, down by the mighty Hudson River, down by the river, that's where I want to be. Meet you down by the river, down by the river, down by the river, to see what we can see. Down by the river, down Footsteps over there. Down by the river, that's where I wanna be. Down by the river, that's where I wanna be. Down by the river, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be.
If you've ever spent time on the river, Jerry Rasmussen's song, Living on the River, will surely awaken your memories. Even during extreme summer heat, I get a chill when I sing, walking down the hill on a winter's night to go skating on the river in the cold moonlight. Suddenly, the warm smile and sparkling eyes of Cornelius Lynch greet me at that old wood stove. Some of us still feel the rocking of the boat, even when we're standing on firm land. We carry the river's sunrises, sunsets, smells, and weather with us. River time has its own pace, a quiet drift down the river, or worry beads crashing to the deck of the Clearwater as a rogue storm parts the jaws of the gaff overhead. No time for fear. Your captain is competent, and you have sails to drop and passengers to get below. The song's images open the floodgates. I hear the chatter of the kingfisher or the red-winged blackbird as the tail and head of the eagle flash white overhead. Schools of tiny catfish scatter as the big carp cavort in the shallows. A beaver slaps a warning, and the turtle drops from a log. Night falls, and crayfish and raccoon dance. I dedicate this song to all who find excitement or joy on the river's edge, to the people past and present who fed their families from the bounty of the river, the Native American oyster gatherers, the sturgeon, striper, crab, and shad fisher people, the eel researchers, and students and scientists who share their precious data. Pete Seeger's litter pickers. May we all continue to care and protect the waters that have seeped into our souls and flow out through our hearts. Live on the river.
One, two, I you know what to do.
Down around the bend where the blackbird sings, over by the fountain there's a crystal spring. Back in the shallow where the watercress grows, sweet spring water runs clear and cold. Living on the river was nice and easy. People on the river just take their time. Wind in the summer was warm and breezy. Wind in the winter it cut like iron. Down around the dam by the railroad bridge, there's wind in the shallow where the crayfish live. Over by the trees where the catfish bite, they'll be swimming in a skillet before tonight. Living on the river was nice and easy. People on the river just take their Wind in the summer was warm and breezy. Wind in the winter it cut like iron. Walking down the hill of a winter's night, to go skating on the river in the cold moonlight. There's an old wood stove, hardwood floor. You can sit and take it easy while your feet get warm. Living on the river was nice and easy. People on the river just take their time. Wind in the summer was warm and breezy. Wind in the winter it cut like iron. Up in the morning at 4 o'clock, I'll meet you at the landing at Lynch's dock. Drifting down the river till the sun comes up, drinking hot black coffee from an old tin cup. Living on the river was nice and easy. People on the river just take their time. Wind in the summer was warm and breezy. Wind in the winter it cut like iron. January, February, take your pick. Ice on the river gets mighty thick. Get out the ice boat, it's time for play. Forget about work until another day. Living on the river was nice and easy. People on the river just take their time. Wind in the summer was warm and breezy. Wind in the winter it cut like iron. Living on the river was nice and easy. People on the river just take their time.
Nice verse, Betty.
Forget about
Awesome,
working.
man.
Shad have been important to the people of the Hudson Valley for thousands of years, returning to the Hudson River to spawn in the winter-hungry days of spring. And as the human population swelled, the shad population went through a series of declines and recoveries. But their story of the last 100 years is a troubling one, and the best we can hope is that the end is still uncertain. By 1920, shad were in their worst decline ever. And the numbers rebounded to the extent that 1942 saw the biggest haul ever recorded. Of course, we realize now that was part of the problem. But they went through a decline, and people thought, well, the shad will recover. They always have, they always will. And they did in the 1950s, but the rebound was less than usual. And then real declines started in the 1960s and continued with little bumps up in the 80s, but continued to drop till by the year 2000, the numbers of shad were barely recordable. And still, it took 10 years for the commercial fishery to be closed in 2010. Will that be enough to save the shad? We don't know. There are other factors: water quality, water temperature, invasive species impacts, offshore fishing. We could lose the shad forever. Whatever happens though, this song will remember them.
The year has turned, the sun is higher every day, the ground is soft, the snow has melted all away, a tide of green has come to wash over the land, and our thoughts turn to the river. The sap is rising in the trees.
shad run up from the sea. Once the river ran with silver, we thought it was forever. The buds still swell, and green returns to please the eye. The day's still warm, and birds still sing to fill the sky. The rain still falls, and thunder rumbles in our dreams. But there are changes in the river. The sap still rises in the tree, but fewer shad come from the sea. Once the river ran with silver, we thought it was forever. We turned our backs, we didn't read the river right. We watched the shad just disappear before our sight. We never dreamed that they might ever fail to run. Our thoughts strayed from the river. The sap still rises in the tree, but fewer shad run out to sea. Once the river ran with silver, we thought it was forever. What did we do to cause the shad such harm? What will it take to see their numbers rise again? Is it too late to mend the damage that's been done? We must take care of the river. The sap will rise up in the tree, but the shad could cease to be. Once the river ran with silver, we thought it was forever. The stakes are higher every day, but we can choose to change the price we want to pay if we stand guard and let nature find its way. We just might heal the river. The sap will rise up in the tree. May shad revive and run to sea. Once the river ran with silver, we thought it was forever. Once the river ran with silver, we thought it was forever.
Okay, I'm going to bring Steve back now.
Hi, everybody. That's one of my favorite songs by Gene. It's a just beautiful melody. And of course, I've spent a lot of time on the river lamenting the shad and doing the research that you saw in some of those pictures that Paul put together for that view. Before we get on to the next set, I'm just going to remind everybody that we are seeking donations that will support both the Boomers and the library tonight. You can go through Square or PayPal. I believe there's links on Betty and the Baby Boomers website. That's www.bettyandthebabyboomers.com. And you can donate there. I think the links are also available from the YouTube feed as well. Well, we're not going to stray too far from the river for the first song in the next set, but we are going to bring in one of our heroes, Pete Seeger. The next couple of songs are by Pete. One is a river song, one that we've been singing for a long time as we've been working for the Clearwater and singing with the Sloop Singers. The second one's not a river song. I'll actually do a little intro for it before we get started. But it's one of my very favorite songs by Pete. And one that I learned only in the last few years as I matured enough to sing it, I think, is the way I like to look at it. Hope you enjoy these songs.
In 1949, Pete and Toshi Seeger left their home in New York City and moved to Sugarloaf Mountain, just south of Beacon on the Hudson River. I can still remember as a 10-year-old, my father and I navigating the driveway to get up to their beautiful cabin that sat atop a ridge overlooking the Hudson River. From their house, they could see out across the Hudson toward Newburgh Bay and the Catskills in the distance. It was a beautiful view. As Pete tells it, after a while they bought a little bathtub of a boat and they started sailing up and down on Newburgh Bay. And before long they could see that the river had really been neglected. Sewage, garbage, people had been dumping things in, just hoping it would go downstream. Out of sight, out of mind. So, as Pete often did, he started writing ideas down, probably on slips of paper. Eventually picked up his banjo and he put together Sailing Up My Dirty Stream. It's a song about how he felt about the river, about cleaning up the river, the beautiful Hudson. But it's also, like many of his other songs, about what the world could be and should be. And if we worked hard and loved hard and sang enough, we might just see that world come to be. Sailing up my dirty stream, still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. It starts high in the mountains of the north, crystal clear, and icy trickles forth. Just one floating wrapper of chewing gum, dropped by some hikers to warn of things to come. Sailing up my dirty stream, still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. At Hudson Falls, 5,000 honest hands working daily at the GE plants. 5,000 gallons wasted daily. Why should we do it any other way? And we sing sailing up my dirty stream, still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. Down the valley, 1 million toilet chains, find my Hudson a convenient place to drain. Each town and village say, who, me? Do you think that sewage treatment plants are free? And we sing sailing up my dirty stream, still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. say the water's clear. Oh, but I live on the river here, halfway between the mountains and the sea. Tacking to and fro, this thought returns to me. And we sing sailing up my dirty stream. Still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. Sailing up my dirty stream, still I love it, and I'll keep the dream that someday, though maybe not this year, my Hudson River will once again run clear. My Hudson River will once again run clear. My Hudson River and my country will run clear.
Well, the next song is one by Pete Seeger. It was actually written on commission. He was asked by Otto Preminger, a famous film director, to write a song for a film that Otto was directing. Well, Pete procrastinated, and when it came time to fly out to California and deliver the songs, he wasn't really too happy with the songs that he had written. And you could tell that Otto wasn't either, because he kept saying, well, you got something else, Pete, anything else? And then while they were doing that, Otto said, well, I've got to fly on to another city in California. So why don't you come with me and you can show me your other songs there. Well, on that flight, that short hop, Pete wrote another song. And when Otto heard it, he said, you were saving that one for me all along, weren't you? It's his song, Old Devil Time.
I'm gonna fool you now. Old devil time, you'd like to bring me down. And when I'm feeling low, my lovers gather round and help me rise to fight you one more time. Oh, devil fear, you with your icy hand. Oh, devil fear, you'd like to freeze me cold. And when I'm sore afraid, my lovers gather round and help me rise to fight you one more time. No storm, no fire, devil hate. I knew you long ago, till I found out the poison in your breath. Now when I hear your lies, my lovers gather round, and we rise to fight you one more time. No storm of fire can ever beat us down. No wind that blows but carries us further on. And you will fade, my lovers gather round, and we will rise to singing one more time. We will rise to sing it one more time.
You're up.
All right. Paul, thank you for putting together that beautiful montage. Really powerful. And it's got me reflecting a lot about what's going on today. This next batch of songs, there's 3 songs, and they're in 3 different locations, completely different. The first one is actually in my front yard, composed by Gene, our resident composer. It's the Poughkeepsie Whaler, and Gene will tell you all about the Poughkeepsie Whaling Company. And then we're going to go to a Woody Guthrie song, the Reuben James, and Paul is going to give you an intro on that. And that was recorded right here in New Paltz at the Elting Memorial Library. And then the third song is called River Rag, and that was recorded at the Ashokan Center as part of the Hudson River Maritime Museum concert for the Smithsonian Waterway series. And that is written by Nick Platkius and kind of transformed by Dan Einbender. And then the Boomers got a hold of it, and as the folk process would go, Steve added on a little intro, and the Boomers threw in all their unusual harmonies, and away we went. And Jay Unger will be joining us on fiddle on this tune. So I hope you enjoy this next group of songs.
So why is a concrete whale breaching the lawn here at Warriors Park in Poughkeepsie, more than 75 miles from the open ocean? It's because this spot along the Hudson Estuary, right back there, was the first staging area for the Poughkeepsie Whaling Company, established in 1832. Imagine the sights and smells when the whale ships were in. Although whaling lasted little more than a decade here in Poughkeepsie, it supported 2 companies whose crews included some local farmers turned sailors. This song is for those sailors who had ties to both the land and the sea. Can you feel the sea breeze? Can you see the great tail? This ship has been roaming in search of the whale. And though we've returned to this arm of the sea, the smell of the ocean still clinging to me. Well, then, I'm bound for Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm headed for home. Well, then, I'm bound for Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm headed for home. Well, hello, Father Hudson, it's good to be home. I'm headed upriver to seek out my own. And with luck by tomorrow, my loved ones I'll see, where the reach of the ocean is too far for me. Well, then, I'm bound for Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm headed for home. Well, then, I'm bound for Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm headed for home. Oh, the water is fresh here. The gulls are all crows. It's time I gave thought to a set of new clothes. And it's good to be where I've been wanting to be, where the sight of the ocean is too far to see. Well, then, I'm here in Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm back in my home. Well, then, I'm here in Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm back in my home. I can sleep in a bed that won't shift 'neath my back, and I won't care tomorrow should the clouds turn to black. I can walk anywhere that I'm wanting to be quit of the ocean is all right with me. Well, then, I'm here in Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm back in my home. Well, then, I'm here in Poughkeepsie. Well, then, I'm back in my home. All my friends and relations are gathered around. Each day I thank God for my feet on the ground. But the whales are still sporting where the waves can run free, and the song of the ocean is singing to me. Well, then, I'll be leaving Poughkeepsie. Well, then, farewell to my home. Well, then, I'll be leaving Poughkeepsie. Well, then, farewell to my home. Oh, the talk is all turning to bushels and bales, but my heart is yearning for the wind in the sails. Let the farmers sow here, I can reap from the sea, where the swell of the ocean is pulling at me. Well, then, I'll be leaving Poughkeepsie. Well, then, farewell to my home. Well, then, I'll be leaving Poughkeepsie. Well, then, farewell to my home.
This next tune is by Woody Guthrie, and when I came to the Hudson Valley, my neighbor Gus, I met my neighbor Gus. My neighbor Gus was a Swede. He came to the U.S. in the 30s, and as a young man, he worked in the shipyard in Kingston. He made boats, and then joined the Merchant Marine and went on sailing out into the North Atlantic. And this tune is called Reuben James. It's about what happened in the North Atlantic, and we hope you enjoy and sing along. 1, 2, 3. Have you heard of a ship called the Good Reuben James? Manned by hard-fighting men, full of honor and fame. She flew the stars and stripes from the land of the free, but tonight she's in her grave at the bottom of the sea. Tell me, what were their names? What were their names? Did you have a friend on the Reuben James? What were their names? What were their names? Did you have a friend on the Reuben James? Was there in the dark of that uncertain night that they watched for the U-boats and waited for the fight? And the wine and the rock and the great explosion roared, and she laid that Reuben James on the cold ocean floor. Tell me, what were their names? Tell Reuben James. 100 men went down to their dark, watery grave. When that good ship went down, only 44 was saved. Was the last day of October when they saved that 44 in the cold, icy waters of that cold Iceland shore. Tell me, what were their names? Tell me, what were their names? Did you have a friend on the good Reuben James? What were their names? Tell me, what were their names? Did you have a friend on the good Reuben James? Many years have passed since those brave men are gone, and those cold icy waters are so still and calm. Now many years have passed, still I wonder why the worst of them must fight and the best of us must die. Tell me, what were their names? Tell me, what were their names? Did you have a friend on the good Reuben James? What were their names? Tell me, what were their names? Did you have a friend on the good Reuben James? What were their names? Tell me, what were their names? Did you have a friend on the good Reuben James? What were their names? Tell me, what were their names? Did you have a friend on the good Reuben James?
Was the place to be, people gathered along the strand. There was shad, oysters and caviar, served on steamboats fit to beat the band. Dock Street, Water Street, River Road, the names still linger in city and town, but we turned our backs on the river. Time to turn the situation around. You can sing it from the bridge, you can sing it from the shore, you can sing it from the swift clear water, but sing it from your heart, you'll never know till you try. You can sing it all alone, you can sing it with a friend, you can take it from the top, you can make it to the end, just might help somebody see bottom of the river again. Oh yeah, bottom of the river again. There's rag to wipe your Sunday shoes, rag to use when you got the blues, rag powder and baby southern sides. There's rag for the kitchen and one for the hall, a ragtime tune on an old guitar, rag to wipe those teardrops from your eyes. Now listen to the river, she's telling you she needs some of that ragtime too. She's waiting patiently for all the rest of us to agree. She's got acid rain speaking down like tears, bees behind her ears, power plants in places she can't reach. Gonna sing this old time river song to every mudsucker and her wrong, till we clean that winding stream from beach to beach. You can sing it from the bridge, you can sing it from the shore, you can sing it from the swift clear water, but sing it from your heart, you'll never know till you try. You can sing it all alone, you can sing it with a friend, you can take it from the top and you make it to the end, just find out somebody's river again. Oh yeah, bottom of the river again. Sing it from the bridge, you can sing it from the shore, you can sing it from the swift clear water, but
Sing it from your heart, you'll never know till you try. You can't sing it all alone, you can sing it with a friend. Take it from the top and you make it to the end. Just might help somebody see. Bottom of the river again, oh yeah. Bottom of the river again, oh yeah. Bottom of the river again. The muddy bottom of the Hudson River again. Oh yeah.
I'm going to introduce the next set. And actually, I'd see if Sunny is still around. I'm going to ask her to join me for just a minute. There she is.
Hi there.
Hey, so these next two songs that we're going to do are very special to us for a number of reasons. And I'm going to, let's set us up here. So we are together here. I guess I'll leave it. I'm a little worried that I might mess up the visuals here, but that's fine. People can see us. We have a very special relationship to Sunny Oaks. I don't know how many years ago it was that she asked us to participate in a very special thing that she had organized, and it's a set of concerts related to the work that her brother Phil had done as a singer, songwriter, artist, activist. The list goes on. And I don't know, Sonny, you could say, can you say a word about that?
The Phil Oaks Song Nights?
Yeah, just to our connection, the Boomers, and our relationship to you and Phil Oaks Song Night.
Well, I was really impressed to find out that you guys had recorded, I think was The Bells was the first one you guys did. And you did, and then I know you sang Hands. You've done several of his songs. I was very impressed. And The Highwayman. So I decided to invite you to be a part of the show, and you held up your end beautifully. And you've done it more than one time, that's for sure, and in various places.
Right, we've done the show many times. It's been a pleasure of ours to be part of that, because we get to perform with musicians and friends who become friends over the years. Wonderful musicians, fabulous artists. Some well-known, some not so well-known, but all wonderful artists. You mentioned Hands. I remember that we learned Hands when we asked you about a song that we should learn that you thought we might do, and you sent us an old recording that was taken on a Wallensack, a little one of those old, I think it was a Wallensack reel-to-reel, of Phil doing this song somewhere, maybe the Gaslight, some
Gaslight, yeah.
Gaslight. And so we took it, we arranged it, and put it out there. We recorded it. We made the mistake of saying that we were the first to record it and distribute it, because thanks to the internet, Jim Glover reached out to me many years later and said, just want to let you know, I recorded that song first. And I apologized and said, oh, that's wonderful, and we had a little exchange. So, but anyway, I just wanted to bring you in because it has been such a big part of our lives and our musical lives and friendship. And these next two tunes, Hands, which we recorded, and The Highwayman, two very different songs. And the first one is, the recording is from our CD, original CD, and I took the liberty of adding some visuals in, including an opening video, some opening remarks from someone I think you'll all recognize, that I think sort of fit the mood. The second one, The Highwayman, was recorded in a church in Waterford in Ireland in 2004, I believe. It was one of our trips to Ireland, and we had the pleasure of playing in this beautiful church, which has now been turned into a performing arts center. And we were there that night, and we thought, how can we do this in this wonderful space? So we decided to make the beginning a little bit unique, and you'll see how we did just that. So I hope you enjoy both of these next tunes, and I want to just thank Sonny again for providing us with this beautiful connection all these years. And
A really quick anecdote about hands. That recording that you heard was given to me by a friend of mine, Peter Benson, who had a recording of Phil at the Gaslight in 1964. And I was listening, and he gave me a tape, and I was listening to it on my way home, and that's the first time I heard hands. And I thought it was so amazing. And Jim Glover was Phil's roommate in college. So I said to Jim, Jim, here's a song that Phil wrote that I never heard before. And Jim was the one who transcribed it. And then we went to a Hudson River cleanup near Pete's house. And we had, after the cleanup, where everybody sat around and sang songs. And Jim sang hands at that campfire. And Pete heard it, and he said, Sonny, that has to go into Sing Out magazine. You have to send it to them. So I did, and it was published in Sing Out. But Jim was the one who transcribed it for us. So it's the connections there, Pete and Jim and Phil, and just beautiful connections. And I think one of his best songs. I still don't understand why he didn't record it. But you've done it now, so it's still around.
well, we hope you enjoy our rendition of Hands. Thanks very much, Sonny.
Certain economic truths have become accepted as self-evident. A second Bill of Rights, under which a new basis of security and prosperity can be established for all, regardless of station or race or creed. Among these are the right to a useful and remunerative job, the right to earn enough to provide adequate food and clothing and recreation, the right of every farmer to raise and sell his products at a return which will give him and his family a decent living, the right of every businessman, large and small, to trade in an atmosphere of freedom, freedom from unfair competition and domination by monopolies at home or abroad, the right of every family to a decent home, the right to adequate medical care, and the opportunity to achieve and enjoy good health, the right to adequate protection from the economic fears of old age, sickness, accident, and unemployment, the right to a good education. All of these rights spell security. And after this war is won, we must be prepared to move forward in the implementation of these rights to new goals of human happiness and well-being. For unless there is security here at home, there cannot be lasting peace in the world.
I've seen the hands of the laborers lifting all the loads, granite stuck to their fingers. They dug the canals and the roads. Now they're clear and the bridges span the river, paused by a power dam. Now the hand of the laborer is reaching out to you. Oh, the hands, hands, hands that work to build the land, land, your land, the labor of the woman and the man, working with their hands.
And I've seen the hands of the lumberjacks, oars swaying in the breeze, splinters stuck
I've seen the hands of the miners digging out the coal. Black dust stuck to their fingers. They live their lives down in a hole. Now that rock, it's still under the ground, and their mine is a-closing down. Now the hand of the miner is reaching out to you. Oh, the hands, hands, hands that work to build the land, your land, the labor of the woman and the man, working with their hands.
And I've seen the hands of the farmers plowing across the fields, topsoil stuck to their fingers as the earth was split by the steel, just growing all that they could grow to fill your tables row after row. And now the hand of the farmer is reaching out to you. Oh, the hands, hands, hands that work to build the land, land, your land, the labor of the woman and the man, working with their hands. Oh, the hands, hands, hands that work to build the land, land, your land, the labor of the woman and the man, working with their hands, working with their hands, your hands, working with their woman and the man, working with their
It was a torn of darkness among the gusting trees, the moon a ghostly galleon tossed upon cloudy seas, and the road a ribbon of moonlight over the purple moor, when the highwaymen came riding, riding, riding. Yes, the highwaymen came riding up to the old inn door. Over the cobbles he clattered and clashed in the darkened yard. He tapped with his whip at the window, but all was locked and barred. So he whistled a tune to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, plaiting a dark red love knot into her long black hair.
One kiss, my bonny sweetheart, I'd have promise tonight, but I shall be back with the yellow bow before the morning light. Yet it must be shouted and carry me through the day. Look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight, and I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way. He did not come at the dawning, he did not come at the noon, and out of the tawny sunset, before the rise of the moon, when the rose gypsies driven, looping the purple moor, o'er red coach troop came marching, marching, marching. King George's men came marching up to the old inn door. They bound the landlord's daughter with many a sniggering jest. They bound the musket beside her with a barrel beneath her breast. Now keep good watch, and they kissed her. She heard the dead man say, look for me by moonlight, watch for me by moonlight, and I'll come to thee by moonlight, though hell should bar the way. Look for me by moonlight, the hoofbeats ringing clear. Watch for me by moonlight, with a death that they did not fear. For he rode on gypsy's highway, she breathed one final breath. Then her finger moved in the moonlight, her musket shattered the moonlight, and it shattered her breast in the moonlight, and warned him with her death. He turned, he spurred on to the west, he did not know who stood, bound with her black hair flowing down, drenched with her own red blood. No, not till the dawn, and he heard it, and his face grew gray to hear how the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, had watched for her love in the moonlight, and died in the darkness there. Back he spurred like a madman, shrieking a curse to the sky, with the white road smoking behind him, and his rapier brandished high. Blood red were his spurs in the golden moon, wine red his velvet coat, when they shot him down on the highway, down like a dog on the highway, and he lay in his blood on the highway, with a bunch of lace at his throat. And still on a winter's night, they say, when the wind is in the trees, when the moon is a ghostly galleon, tossed upon cloudy seas, when the road is a ribbon of moonlight, over the purple moor, oh, a highwayman comes riding, riding, riding. Yes, a highwayman comes riding up to the old inn door.
Fun too. So Betty, you're back in. You're back in. So let's go on with things.
Great, great. Well, I know that some people tonight are gathered at the courthouse in Kingston, honoring Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and so I know that we all are deeply touched by that, which really doesn't have anything to do with the next three songs, except that the next three songs, two are written by Jean, and the other is by California man Bob Reed, who actually wrote Animals Need Water with a bunch of school children. I would almost bet that it's one of the most sung songs in the Hudson River by Clearwater educators. And it's fun, it's great. And so I wanted to give Bob credit for that and thank him. I know that Pete liked it a lot too. And Bob Reed may live in California, but he and his singing partner Judith often come to the Valley, and he's been being here for years. So the other two songs are written by Jean, and the first song that she's going to sing, the apple pressing song, is a so common to the Hudson Valley at this time of year. I can't wait to go get some macoons. That's one of my favorites. And every year, Paul will have us over to press apples in his driveway. I believe that's where that song is set. And the last song is also by Jean, and it's Back Bay, and she'll give you an introduction to that. I love Jean's lyrics, and especially in this song, where the heron waits for the tide and fate to bring her dinner there. So I hope you enjoy the 3 songs, and thank you again for having us. And let's hope that we find a way to feed all the hungry mouths in the Hudson Valley, in the United States, and in the world. We can do that. Thank you very much.
Boomers have been pressing apples here in Paul and Vera's driveway for almost 30 years, thanks to Paul's vintage apple press and the Hudson Valley's bounty of apples. Ever since the Dutch brought the first cultivated apple seeds to the valley in the 1600s, we've been a hotbed of apple production. And starting with Louis Du Bois, founder of New Paltz, also in the 1600s, we've produced hundreds and hundreds of American varieties of apple. This was a great place to be an apple lover. The last 100 years have seen twists and turns to the story of apples in the Hudson Valley. Prior to 1920, both what we call hard cider production and table eating apples were big business. But 1920 brought the Prohibition, which shut down the hard cider industry. And by the time it was over in 1933, beer replaced cider in popularity for Americans.
Oh, the days are warm, the nights are crisp. Turn, turn the apple press. Of all the year, this time is best. And oh, how fine are the apples. The lakes are misty in the morn. Turn, turn the apple press. The ghost of summer lingers on. And oh, how fine are the apples. The geese are flying overhead. Turn, turn the apple press. They call to us that summer's dead. And oh, how fine are the apples. But never mind that summer's lost. Turn, turn the apple press. Harvest comes with autumn's frost. And oh, how fine are the apples. The trees are bending with their weight. Turn, turn the apple press. We'll pick them clean to make them straight. And oh, how fine are the apples. And when we've picked and cut and squeezed, turn, turn the apple press. We'll share our nectar with the bees. And oh, how fine are the apples. And when bees and men have drunk their fill, turn, turn the apple press. We'll feel the warmth of summer still. And oh, how fine are the apples. And when we've picked and cut and squeezed, turn, turn the apple press. We'll share our nectar with the bees. And oh, how fine are the apples. And when bees and all have drunk their fill, turn,
and turn the apple press. We'll feel the warmth of summer still. And oh, how fine are the apples. Well, here's a great song that educators up and down the Hudson River sing all the time and teach it to children. And we hope to teach it, that you'll learn it from this also. It was written by Bob Breed and a bunch of school children, I believe, in California. And it's called Animals Need Water. And the chorus goes, animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Well, there's water everywhere, but not a drop to spare. Water in the ground, water in the air. Though it does evaporate, it doesn't go away. Rains onto the mountaintop, flows out into the bay. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Well, you can take a shower in it, you can wash your hair. You should wash your clothes and wash your teddy bear. Really clean water is getting mighty rare. So if we want to save it, people have to care. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Well, water is rain, water is a flood. Water turns dirt into mud. Sometimes water's blue, sometimes water's green, sometimes water's dirty, but we want water clean. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Well, that river's filling up with lots of stuff like PCBs. Gets into the fish, and then in you and me. If we get too much of it, we could wind up in bed. And if we get too much of it, well, we could wind up dead. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you. Animals need water, people need it too. Keep it clean for me, and I'll keep it clean for you.
This is the place that inspired my song Back Bay. This is where I go when I shut my eyes while I'm singing. It's a place of peace and refuge for me, a place away from the bustle of people. And it's been this way for the last 100 years. But ironically, this place was pretty much caused by people after the railroad came through in the mid-1800s and mostly cut the cove off of the tidal influences of the river. And sadly, this place of natural beauty and richness, what I consider the jewel of the Hudson tidal marshes, can be destroyed by people as climate change caused sea level rise slowly drowns the marsh, where it backs up against cliffs and can't retreat further inland. But the choice is ours. It's in our hands. Give me the quiet water, give me the back bay. Give me a good excuse to slip the strangle noose of a workday. Oh, my soul is free, no one to bother me on the back bay. Don't want your noisy engine, don't want the wind in my hair. Give me an old canoe, a paddle, light and true, they will take me where the heron waits for the tide and fate to bring her dinner there. Give me the quiet water, give me the back bay. I feel the need to ride the changes of the tide in the worst way. Oh, I do believe I feel the river breathe on the back bay. Oh, you can keep the channel, you've got places to go. The river rushing by, you're living on the fly. I will take things slowly. I don't mind if I fall behind in the ebb and flow. We need that quiet water. We need the back bay. A buffer from the storm, the place where life is born, where the cattails sway. The river's health is in the secret wealth of the back bay. Give me the quiet water, rock me in the cradle of the back bay. We need that quiet water, share it with the eagle and the osprey. Cherish the quiet water of the back bay. Cherish the quiet water of the back bay. Cherish the quiet water of the back bay. We need the quiet water.
Share it with the eagle.
We need the back bay and the osprey.
Cherish the quiet water
Of the back bay. Cherish the quiet water of the back bay. Cherish the quiet water of the back bay.
Oh boy, I do love that song. Well, as it turns out, I finally figured out how to let you leave comments on the YouTube channel, and I've now activated that. If you refresh your screen, there's a spot for you to do that if you would like to do so. So I'm sorry that I didn't make that available earlier, but it is available now if you'd like to leave some comments. And I'm going to bring the boomers back. Since we're over, we might as well be over. So I'm going to bring them back one at a time. And let's see if I can get them back here. And Sunny as well, because we've got one more song for you, and I just wanted to remind people that you can participate, you can help us out. I guess it looks like everybody's back. Let's see. Let's go to the gallery view. Great, great, great. So So, Steve, I think we elected you to do the final goodbye here.
All right. Well, first of all, thanks to all of you who tuned in tonight on YouTube to listen to the Boomers. I hope you heard some songs that you'd heard before that you really wanted to hear, and some new things as well that you perhaps hadn't heard. At least you hadn't heard the version or seen the version that we put before you tonight. We were all particularly taken with the Waterford version of the Highwayman, which we hadn't seen in 16 years. We didn't know it was out there, and Paul unearthed it. It was really brought back a wonderful time in Ireland. But thank you all to the rest of the Boomers and to all of you who are listening and watching tonight. A particular thanks to Paul for putting this together and managing the show, the maestro of Zoom here, and of course a big thanks to Sonny. This is I think we've done a few of these concerts and some of your Gate Hill concerts as well as the Phil Oaks nights, and it's always a pleasure to be singing up in Schoharie County, and in this case virtually. Sonny, thank you so much for making us part of your world, of the music that you bring to audiences really all over the place. We always enjoy being part of it and sharing Phil Oaks nights with all the other great musicians that you present. So big thanks to you.
Thanks back at you for doing the show tonight. I really enjoyed it. Particularly love the visuals. My gosh, that adds so much. Great job, Paul. Really nice work. And all of you with the music, of course. Great choice of songs. And wow, I'm glad you're my friends.
Likewise.
So I just want to remind people that I did open up the chat, and so if you'd like to, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from where you were listening in. We're going to play this last tune. It's a tune by Canadian Paul Cooper, who sang with the Nylons. That was the group, right, Steve?
Yes, that's correct.
And we actually learned it from Jonathan Edwards, who wrote that song, that famous song, "Sunshine Go Away Today." And he recorded himself, he overdubbed his voices, and we heard it, we loved it, and we wanted to do it ourselves. So we made an arrangement, we boomerized it, and we performed it for you. So we're going to leave you tonight with an optimistic tune. Optimistic fools, that's what it says in the song. And we're all going to be that optimistic, those optimistic fools, and have a good outlook on life and keep singing. Just like Pete said, keep on singing. How can we keep from singing? So again, thank you all for joining us tonight, and please do contribute if you can. Go to bettyandthebabyboomers.com, all one word, bettyandthebabyboomers.com, and choose your way to donate some funds to help folk music, to help Sonny continue to do this, and hopefully we'll be back sometime. We would love to be back in Middleburgh in person as soon as we can. We'd love to be anywhere in person.
Yes.
We'd like to be together again.
Yes.
All right. So here we go. We're going to start the last leg of this, last bit of this, and I'm going to ask the Boomers to stick around afterwards.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Right.
Calling all dreamers and optimistic fools. Don't let go of your dreams. Make it now, make it all come true. If you believe in a brighter day, I know we can find our way to this island in a starry ocean, poetry in motion. This island earth, spinning like a dancer, gravity is the answer, rendezvous in the blue. This island earth, I don't know what's in store today. We can spread our wings, we can soar away, we can go like a dinosaur, they say. The choice is ours to make.
It only seems like this to me. We can wake up one day and be history, or stick around to unravel the mystery of how we came to be. On this island, in a starry ocean, poetry in motion, this island earth, beautiful oasis for all human races, the only home that we know, this island earth. I know we can touch the stars one day, kick up the dust on Mars someday, or trip the light on the Milky Way. We've got to find our way. If you're looking for a miracle, open your eyes. There was one this morning just about sunrise. Dawn came breaking like a wave on the sea. It's there for you and me. Calling all dreamers and optimistic fools. Don't let go of your dreams. Make it now, make it all come true. If you believe in a brighter day, I know we can find our way to this island, in a starry ocean, poetry in motion, this island earth, spinning like a dancer, gravity is the answer, rendezvous in the blue, this island earth, rendezvous with the moon, this island earth, the only home that we know, this island earth.